Hello and welcome to another edition of Chiodini's Kitchen, video game recipes made real. Now this week's video is very different because I'm not actually cooking anything unless you count this cup of tea, which I've already made, so we probably shouldn't count that. Instead, this is more of just sort of like a video chat. I guess you could call it a vlog. I'm almost certainly too old to be making vlogs. How do you do, fellow kids? But we'll call it a vlog anyway, to say that Chiodini's Kitchen basically is not going away, but it is going on break for a few weeks. Basically, when I started this show, I didn't think it was going to be a show. I found a recipe for fish dumplings in Dishonored 2, and I thought, this will be funny, I'll make a video titting about in my kitchen. And people liked it enough that we thought we'd just roll with it, and that was about 10 months ago now, coming up on a year ago. And to be honest, we've not missed that many weeks. We missed a week when I was ill, and we missed a week after I got married. But apart from that, we've sort of kept it going. And there came a point where I was having a conversation with the rest of the team, and we were talking about maybe, you know, what if I get burnt out, or you know, we get ridiculously busy. And so we always thought, in order to keep things fresh and to make sure that it's always fun to make, because things that aren't fun to make aren't fun to watch, we would plan in a little bit of a season break, and I think the time for that is now, for a few reasons, to be honest. Firstly, it's getting pretty busy on the rest of the channel. There's a lot of stuff sort of coming out in the near future that we need to be across, or that we want to be across, obviously. EGX is coming up, and while a lot of the work for EGX is handled by the events team at Gamer Network, we do have quite a bit of work to do ourselves in the run-up to it, which hopefully you'll be able to see if you're coming to the show, and hopefully it'll all pay off and it'll be really good and everyone will have a nice time. But basically the long and short of it is that there's a lot going on at the minute, and it doesn't feel like I've got the time to properly invest in Chiodini's Kitchen, because when I do these videos, I want them to be decent. And sometimes there are comments from people, you know, people saying like, I think you rushed this, or I don't think you had very much fun doing this one. And it's amazing how people can always tell, because there have been some weeks where, you know, I've turned off the camera and I thought to myself, I'm not very happy with the way that went. And I think, you know, it sometimes shows in the edit, and I don't want this show to be that. I don't want it to be me sort of standing there with a fake smile plastered on my face going like, hey, let's try and summon some enthusiasm for this thing that I don't want to do. So I figured it would be best to just be candid and open about it and say that we're going to take a few weeks off. Probably we'll bring the show back after EGX, so that'll be at the end of September, at the very latest at the start of October. And in the meantime, I'm going to do some planning and come back with a strong roster of episodes. There are a couple already that I'm working on behind the scenes that have a lot more prep, but should be really good fun when they happen. They're proper, like, special episodes that should go down, hopefully, really well. So anyway, that's the situation. Chiodini's Kitchen is going away for a few weeks. It's going to come back reinvigorated with a whole bunch of other recipes. Speaking of which, do keep those suggestions coming in, not just because they're useful for us, they help us find games and recipes we never would have thought of otherwise, but it's nice to see that there are people on the other side of the screen who are genuinely invested and want to come back and see recipes they care about being made on this show that hopefully they care about as well. It's a nice feeling, because really I think the reaction to this show has been bigger and better than I possibly could have imagined, given that it is just me titting about in a substandard kitchen making subpar food and making Americans feel weird about the fact there's a washing machine in the kitchen. It's really not that weird. Most of the places I've lived, most of my friends' houses have the washing machine in the kitchen. It's just a thing in the UK. It's to save on space, I think, because London is kind of cramped sometimes. But anyway, I'm getting off track. The long and short of it is, I'll be back. Do not worry, it's not over. Keep those recipe suggestions coming in. There are plenty of other things for you to watch on Eurogamer in the meantime. Some of them have me in, sorry in advance for that. But there are some on screen now to give you an idea of things you might like to watch while you're waiting for Chiodini's Kitchen to make its triumphant, probably tasteless return. So thank you again very much for watching. Sorry to anyone that I've disappointed, but it really is for the best, and I will catch you very soon.